Good morning. This is Mayor Mike. I'm broadcasting from 740 Main Street here at Town Hall. These are the responses to the questions we got through the Ask the Mayor program last week. And it's going to be very short, so don't blink or it'll be over. So, two prior questions that come to us that I have additional information on. The first one, we received a question from June, who was identifying that the markings on Burnside Avenue, the traffic markings, and also on Silver Lane were, actually Main Street, were lightening up and they were difficult to see at night. So we've reached out to the Department of Transportation. The Assistant Commissioner is a gentleman named Mike Walsh, and he has acknowledged that both of those will be getting done when they do their pavement markings as we approach the fall. So good news for June. Burnside Avenue and Main Street, new traffic markings, care of DOT, because those are state roads. Number two, this one goes out to Nazreen, and the question was, when will the sidewalks between Summerfield Apartments and the Silver Lane School get repaved? I also reached out to Deputy Commissioner Mark Rolfe at the DOT. That was to be in conjunction with the Route 2 work that they were doing, or actually the 5 and 15 overpass work. And he came back and he said, yep, DOT dropped the ball. They're going back to the drawing board, and that will get scheduled. So it'll be sometime, hopefully not too late into the fall season. But again, DOT recognizes it. This was something Mayor LeClaire and State Representative Henry Jenga felt passionately about. And simply by following up with DOT, they acknowledged that one, it was their responsibility, and two, they dropped the ball. So that is now being rescheduled. It should be done in the short term. That was the follow-up on two questions, and now three new questions. Questions 116, 117, and 118. Question number 116, which was from Morgan. I've heard rumors that the old senior center, which we call McCartan School, will be turning into new homes, and there'll be a street attached to Woody Crest. Can you confirm or deny? And Morgan, I've sent the plans out to you specifically. I can confirm that we are looking at that for some new housing. McCartan School is an old elementary school that is no longer used except for a Y program for daycare. The Y is expanding their Main Street facility, and they'll move their daycare operation to Main Street, which will fully vacate the school probably by the end of December, although that may slip into the early part of 2023. We will go to the town council and we will ask for permission to demolish that school. We are receiving state CRDA money to do that, and we're currently looking at some engineering studies so that we know what we will do. We have a tentative rendering to put 16 moderate income housing on that particular property that will reconnect the neighborhood. At best, if we get all green lights from the council and from engineering and demolition, that will occur in early 2023. We will then, in later 23, bid it out to a developer, and the actual construction will be sometime mid-2024 or even into 2025. So we're about 3 to 4 years away from anything being done there. I know I received a concern from a neighbor who likes the quiet neighborhood and doesn't want housing to go there. But at the end of the day, it is good for the community. It reconnects the neighborhood, and it establishes additional housing, and that's what causes a town like East Hartford to grow. So again, nothing's carved in stone, but that is the plan. Question number 117 comes from Sherry, and I also have responded to this directly, but to share Sherry's question, can we have a food festival at the town green? And I replied to her that, Sherry, we did. One, we have Fall Fest and we have food trucks there, and we also have Juneteenth and we have food trucks there. It's not like some of the other communities where we have all the restaurants get together, but we do have a variety of food samplings on those two occasions, and I hope that meets Sherry's definition of a food festival. Number two, can we possibly have an arts and crafts store? I also replied that we do have one. It's Michael's. It's on 5 Main Street toward the south end of town. Plenty of arts and crafts and other materials in there, and it is tucked away to the side or the west of the ShopRite store. And finally, can we have a carnival in town? And I said, well, that's not a real good function for the town government of East Hartford to follow through on. It's traditionally done by private organizations, albeit a church or the Rotary or the Lions, whatever the case may be. Up in Enfield, they have an association that's a religious association that ultimately had a carnival over the weekend. So I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's not the primary function of East Hartford government given what else we have on. So welcome it if somebody wants to plan it, but ultimately the town of East Hartford would not be the organizer. Question number 118 comes from Janice. 2 questions. Why is police activity not being broadcast on the scanners after 10 p.m.? And I checked with dispatch, checked with the police chief. That's simply because we're slower. It's not that we are unplugging anything or not using the scanners. Simply after 10 o'clock, a lot of activity does not, it quiets down, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We're not doing anything differently. We're not going to a different channel on the scanner. We're not broadcasting it. We're simply, it's a slower time of night, overnights. And then finally, when will the dog park be ready? And according to Ted Fravel, our Parks and Recreation Director, we are waiting for gates. Now, I haven't taken a drive out there. We will have a soft opening, but once we get those gates, I'm told we're pretty close. And as we speak, it's Wednesday. I'll take a look over the weekend and I'll report back this time next week. This is Mike from 740 Main Street. As I said, if you blinked, you missed this week's version of Ask the Mayor. Keep your questions coming in and we'll have answers back to you next week on a bunch of new topics. Hopefully everybody's staying warm. Make sure your heat protocols. Don't get dehydrated, drink plenty of water. We have cooling centers. And by Friday, the overnight temperatures will be 59 degrees. It'll be a welcome refresher from the 8 days of heat that we've suffered through. Hopefully everybody's summer's going well. This is Mike from Town Hall. Have a great day.